The following podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Connect, Australia's newest choice for event management and brand development specializing in pro wrestling.
And now, the B Plus Wrestling Podcast. Watch global. Support local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The moves.
B plus.
Hello amigos, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host Big Boy. It's Friday and I hope you all know what that means by now. It's time for another episode of the Loco or Lucha Libre podcast where you get to listen to one Aussie and one Scot rant and rave about the world of Lucha Libre, the Mexican pro wrestling art form. And I know we've been absent for about 6 weeks or so from the airwaves. Life got in the way, but we are back. And on that note, let's welcome back to the B Plus, the Scott and Dev Pod Zone, Liam A. Stewart. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a while. I'm excited. We've got a lot going on in the world of Lucha Libre right now. It's with all these promotions embracing the art form now. You got AEW using Lucha Libre guys. Obviously, WWE continuing to incorrectly use Lucha Libre guys. So it's a fantastic time to be a Lucha Libre fan, as long as you just don't look at, WWE. You're safe.
Yeah, pretty much. It's scary that WWE have some of the best lucha talent and they're just not touching it properly. But one company that I guess doesn't touch properly still, but the WWE of Mexico, AAA. Look, I guess this podcast is going to be very CMLL light. Actually, I haven't got anything CMLL related this week.
No, me neither. It's been a very AAA week.
Yeah, for those listening, I'm not actually going to talk about CMLL at all. Just a quick little note before we get on to the preview. CMLL is in a tournament week. The last 2 weeks have been the family tournament. Some really good matches, but there's not really big news coming out of it. It's just really good matches. So definitely jump onto YouTube and their Facebook page. Especially the Friday shows have been standout huge. But AAA have unfortunately AAA have taken up the airwaves with all the news and all that. So it's going to be a very AAA heavy podcast this week.
Yeah, definitely.
And on that, AAA Verano de Escalando happened the past couple of days. Monday for me, Sunday for you, I guess. Yeah, very interesting show this one was. A lot of stuff came out of this show.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of inappropriate touching, a lot of inappropriate diving off the top of scaffolds, and yes, some results that went the right way, some that went the wrong way. Yeah. What do you think of the overall show before we touch on some of the matches?
So, interestingly, I watched this show with my friend Dennis, who I do Dev Pod with sometimes, and, one of the guys that when I got back into wrestling really started chatting to about it, and he knows Lucha Libre as far as he's seen Eddie Guerrero stuff, he's seen the WWE stuff, and he's familiar with the Lucha Bros and stuff like that. But in terms of out-and-out Mexican wrestling, he knows what CMLL and AAA are, but he'd never watched it. So I was like, listen, you're off. This is free on Twitch. Stay up and give it a watch. Yeah. And the problem I always find with showing people AAA shows for the first time is basically you'd be as well saying tune in halfway through, because in classic AAA fashion, you have to sit through about 3 matches that aren't great until you get to the sort of good, amazing wrestling. And I happened to fall asleep at the start of the 4th match. So we went off, and he's not watched the rest of it yet. So his first experience of AAA is 3 mediocre matches, and then waking up to the news, obviously, that we'll touch on a bit later with Scarlett Bordeaux. So he's missed all the good stuff, so he's agreed to watch the rest of it with me this week, and he's going to hold an open mind. But, AAA don't make it easy.
No, like I said, they're the WWE of Mexico. They don't make it easy. This is is a very interesting card. It's one of the first times since I've really got back into Triple A that I've actually gone into a show, looked at the match listing, and all those matches actually went ahead. Usually they'll set out the matches, and then like by the time the show starts, there's like 2 or 3 people haven't turned up, so they quickly do a reshuffle of the entire card. And you're like, what the fuck happened to all this? Like,
Triple A are the definition of card subject to change. It's
oh, absolutely.
You know, you look in your little picture dictionary, and it's a Triple A logo beside that. You know, it's
yeah. Which it's funny, but this show actually went to plan. Everything went to plan for them. So I guess let's kick it off. They opened the show with that triple threat for the Reina de Reina's title. Kira picking up the victory here. Lahidra and Chica Tormenta. I thought this was actually fun. The next match I have something to say about, but this match was fun. I wasn't expecting Kira to get the title here straight away.
I'm not sure if it was a botch. Like, I remember watching it live, and I wasn't sure if it was meant to happen. Like, on second watch, it looks like how that was meant to go, but it was a bit confusing at first. Obviously, a very fun match. Crowd, in their usual way, don't really care about the first match, and to be fair, with Mexico, don't really care a lot about the female Mexican talent, but it's getting a lot better. I think Lady Shiani is one of the best they've got, and we'll see a bit of her later on. Yeah, but like you, very shocked to see Kira get the belt. But overall, very enjoyable. Sort of 8 minutes. Work the crowd, got them a little bit hotter. Shame about the next match, but
So I wasn't expecting either Kira or Chica Tormenta to pick up the victory. I thought Hydra was going to take the title into Triple Mania, but fair enough. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? I really feel that the women's division in AAA is one of the best in North America. I think they've got some really good talent. They're just not used properly. Like the next match, Fabi Apache versus El Hijo del Tarantes. Usual referee. He also has his Lucha Performer license. This has been building since Triple Mania last year. This is all I can say.
I had to try and explain this to Dennis, right? Because when something bad happens, I'm not going to defend it. And I was like, yeah, this is shit. It was like, yeah, but what's going on here? I was like, so he's a ref. I was like, and then the only way I could think to describe this is Earl Hebner versus Mickey James. It's as close as I get. I was like, it's an alright female performer who's not at their peak of performance, and then it's a ref. Like, it's a story match, but no one cares about the story, and the in-ring work wasn't enough to make up for it. I was like, this is going to be a bit shit. I was like, want to go watch Vampiro for a bit? Or like, La Parka, let me show you something cool.
Toronto is he knows how to get heel heat. He's very good at that. I'll give him that. He knows how to work the crowd, but God, he's shit in ring. God. Like Fabi Apache, she, like you said, she's past her prime. She's, she's still like I don't mind watching her. And if it was her versus one of the other girls, or I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, this is just a mismatch for me. Then the next one also was a mismatch, and nothing on the 2 young guys in this match. So Australian Suicide and Sammy Guevara took on Las Fresas Savages. I can never say that properly. Mamba and Maximo. Nothing on Oz Suicide and Sammy Guevara, especially Sammy Guevara. He's one of the premier talents of the world right now. Aussie Suicide.
He's all right.
He's always fun to watch. He's all right. But Mamba and Maximo, I don't get it. I don't get the love for Maximo. Maximo's okay. Mamba
definitely.
Is terrible.
I remember one of the other co-hosts of DevPod, Di, also, like most people, doesn't watch any AAA or CMML. And I showed him a AAA card and had Mamba and Maximo on it. And like, he was pleasantly surprised by Maximo, for a bigger, out of shape looking guy, he can still move. But the problem is on a big card like this that had like I remember looking at the two Twitch streams, because obviously you had the English and the Spanish, had about 20,000 viewers at this point, because everyone's there to see the semi-main of the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks for the AAA tag titles. But this match, man, you got Sammy Guevara, who, you know, a lot of people would have been familiar with through the Kip Sabian match at Double or Nothing, and just through his work in the Independents and PWG, and Australian Suicide, who some people have heard the name but aren't too familiar, and they are going out to like really cement this card and give themselves a great name, and they're bumping for the wrong people, man. Like Australian Suicide takes a big tope to the outside, and I'm like, mate, don't bother for this match. Like I said, this was the last of the three matches that I think were just bad or meh. And I think after this, it really picks up, because the next match especially is my match of the night. So it really picks up with Laredo Kid and Taya Valkyrie defeating Daga and the best female performer in the world, like no questions asked, Tessa Blanchard, in mixed tag action. This match was fantastic. Like, I loved it. It happened. It helps. I love Daga. I love Laredo Kid. And I love Tessa Blanchard, and Taya's all right. And Taya and Tessa Blanchard have that impact chemistry going on. Like, I was at Super Strong Style 16, the Progress 3-day weekend tournament, and Daga was one of the surprise imports for it. Daga and Aerostar. Lucky enough to meet them both and had a chat with Daga. Aerostar's English not the best, unsurprisingly, but Daga is just on top of the world right now. Everything he does looks so slick. He's a proper old school Mexican nutcase as well, which I think helps. And this match was fantastic. A lot of high octane action throughout the entire match. Crazy bumps. If it wasn't for a certain Aerostar, this match probably would have had the craziest bumps of the night. But I'm so happy for Laredo Kid especially. He's now been announced as the Lucha Bros partner at Fighter Fest. Which is a good replacement. You know, a little bit less fanfare about it than Pac, but he's a better wrestler than Pac, and he's less of a dick than Pac. I've made it clear in my opinions on Pac on Twitter before, much to the hatred of a lot of people, so we might as well continue that. But yeah, this match really picked it up for me. What did you think?
First off, I'm going to agree with you on your assessment of Park. I find I'm not going to take anything away from his in-ring value. He's one of the best in-ring guys in the world. But he's a dick, and
absolutely.
And he needs to fix up his mantra before the next stage of his career, because anyway, but to put the focus back on the other 3 or 4 guys in this match, Daga is on another level. I love Daga. Why he's not? Why AEW? I mean, could be contractual reasons with because is he still potentially locked up with Dragon Gate as well?
I think he is, because I think he's in Red as obviously with Pac, ironically.
Yeah.
But I think they still have complicated contracts, like Lucha Underground style annoying contracts.
Yeah, because I guarantee All Elite would have him on their roster by now. I think Daga would be absolutely. Laredo Kid, thank God he's finally on this Fighter Fest card, because he is. I'm in love with Laredo Kid. I think he's one of my favorites right now. Tessa Blanchard, like you said, the queen of wrestling. Like, it comes with a name. Similar to Charlotte in WWE, as much as she gets criticism. Charlotte is one of the best in the world. Tessa Blanchard is Charlotte, but outside WWE, she is the absolute queen. I love her. Taya Valkyrie is an interesting one. She's a hit or miss for me. I think she's fantastic. She's actually here in Sydney next weekend with Johnny Morrison for a local Australian tour. I don't know if I'm going to go yet. It's a little bit expensive for just Taya and Johnny, but I find her entertaining. But the other 3, just they went all out. I love this match. I love where the direction of Daga's going with being a bit of a lone wolf since he left Perros.
Definitely.
Leader. I just hope they paid that off because Joe Leder wasn't even on this card at all. Joe Leder. He wasn't even on this card at all. They just haven't paid that part off yet. But I guess they're doing it with Taya as that Perez girl. Not that she's a real Perez girl, but anyway.
Yeah, close enough.
But let's talk about this next match because it's going to link into our first major story of the day. So, well, actually, let's leave that one to last because it's going to...
Yeah,
it's going to link into
a lot.
Yeah. So let's skip over that. The match after that, the 6-man El Hijo del Vikingo La Parca Fake One and Mrs. Jr. Defeated Los Mercenarios, El Texano Jr., La Hydra, and Rey Escorpion. This was fun. Vikingo looked very, very painful at the end of that match.
Yeah.
His breathing, like he took some shots to the rib. Outside of Laredo and Daga and maybe Guevara, El Hijo del Vikingo is one of the most requested human beings in the world right now. He is... Everybody wants him. I know there's visa issues. People are talking about the visa issues. I'm reading everyone like... There's like hashtags like let's get Vikingo a visa and stuff like that. He's fucking amazing. I don't like Fake La Parca. He's okay. But I just...
It doesn't help when you're an alright wrestler, you're average, but then you've got the name of a much better wrestler. I think Vikingo, like you said, one of the best in the world right now in Lucha Libre, breaks the internet constantly. You know, when he countered a springboard into a second rope Spanish fly into the ring, internet went wild. I had people I know at me going, who is this guy? Like, tell me more. And I'm like, just check him out. His moveset is so dynamic, and he's one of those out of nowhere sort of guys. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm the same as you. Not too fond of Fake La Parca. I am, however, quite a big fan of Rey Scorpion. However, in a sort of technical Lucha Libre style match, a much more slower paced, sort of isolated style.
Yeah.
He's like the Zack Sabre Jr. of Lucha Libre, I always find, to a much lesser extent. And obviously, Texano Jr. is fantastic. But this match was decent.
Yeah.
I think it went a bit long. I think it was 13 minutes. I think you could have given some of that time to the next match on this card, which was a bit short. But
we should touch on... well, I should touch on Los Mercenarios have lost a member in La Mascara. He's gone from AAA. He's gone. The brother of Maximo and Psycho Clown. He's gone.
Yeah.
And they've replaced him in Los Mercenarios officially with Taurus. So a perfect replacement. He looks so good with them now. And La Hydra, I guess she's part of it too now. But... I love Rey Scorpion. Especially, we forgot to touch on it, because there's no segment in AAA history that doesn't get interrupted. Earlier in the night, they had the Dr. Wagner spot, sort of thanking the crowd regarding his brother Silver King, which I guess we'll touch on later as well. Interrupted by Rey Scorpion, and there's always something.
There's always one thing.
There's always something in AAA. Yeah. The next match is probably the one everyone was talking about. Well,
one of the two.
If it wasn't for the Aerostar match, but one of the two. The Lucha Brothers, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., defeat the Young Bucks, Matty and Nick Jackson to retain their, to get their AAA titles back, World Tag titles back. Another fantastic bout between these two. These two teams have such amazing chemistry. I don't think I've seen the Young Bucks have this much chemistry with teams since PWG days. Like with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish and that. These guys have genuine chemistry, and I can't wait for that 6-man because that's even going to get better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've made it clear in the past that I wasn't always the biggest fan of the Young Bucks. Like, in fact, actively hating them for a while, kind of during the they're the best in the world and they can't do anything wrong, and like I wasn't on the Jim Cornette side of they're not doing wrestling, but I just thought they were okay, but the amount they were shoved down my throat kind of made it hard to enjoy them. But since they kind of got talked about a little less and I can just watch them have matches and enjoy them, God, they are fantastic now. Obviously, the Lucha Bros are two of the best of all time when it comes to Lucha Libre and two of the best in the world right now. Their match at AEW was the best tag team match I've ever seen. It was phenomenal. And this kind of ended off the little AAA tag title publicity stunt part of their feud that did the job. It got viewers on AAA and it gave them a reason to feud at Double or Nothing. We'll get the little 6-man at Fyter Fest to continue it. Interested to see where it's going to go. This match was short. I would have liked it a little bit longer, but I think the right result happened. Lucha Bros have the titles back. We can see them continue to take that around the world and do phenomenal things with it. And yeah, for the semi-main, it did a great job and set up the guys on the main event to tear it down, and they did all right. I think it set up the main event well.
Yeah. And the thing that I love most about that tag title match is I love when Young Bucks work heel. They're not heel anywhere else in the world except for Mexico now.
Yeah, it's great.
They're just gone past that point. There's guys all over the world that get this. They go past that point where you could be heel or face. You're just going to get cheered because people love you so much. Mexico don't give a fuck about the Young Bucks. They care more about the Lucha Brothers.
Exactly.
The Lucha Brothers are their Young Bucks. And I love Matt and Nick. It's working that heel tag team that, you know, being dicks. So I'm like, I love that. That's the old Young Bucks. That's what I fell in love with when they were heel in New Japan with Bullet Club and that. This is the cheesy All Elite stuff can kind of get frustrating. Yeah. But on the flip side, Phoenix and Penta, they're just so good. And I get to see them this Sunday night. I can't wait.
Nice.
Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. in Sydney this Sunday night for World Series Wrestling. We've got Phoenix versus Robbie Eagles versus Rich Swann.
Ooh, tasty.
Which right. I can't wait to meet him. I'm dying to meet Phoenix.
Did I? Because we've been off the air for about 6 weeks. I didn't tell you the story of what happened when I went to that show to meet Pentagon and Phoenix, did I?
No.
Right. So for the sake of not shitting on a promotion, I'm going to call this Promotion X. I'm sure if you scroll through my Twitter, but you'll see what it's called. So I stay in Edinburgh, Scotland, sort of the capital, not North Highlands, so not too far off, sort of the north of England. I was going to a Promotion X show in Liverpool, obviously famous part of England, sort of northwest of England, close to Wales, close to the north of Wales anyway. So a bit of a trek, and it was £45 for VIP tickets to like a low-level indie promotion, but they had Pac versus Pentagon and El Fantasmo versus Phoenix. Fantastic matches, and they had a couple death matches on the card. It looked like it was the show for me. So me and my friend Innes book a hotel. Di comes in and joins in the hotel as well. He's not going to the show, but he thought, well, we're going to Glasgow afterwards, so we'll hang out. So I pay in total like £250 for hotel, travel and tickets. One, VIP wasn't limited, so pretty much everyone bought VIP. So then at this all-standard event, there was no benefit to your VIP ticket. You weren't guaranteed to be standing at the front. So after like an hour of waiting, finally we get my photo with Phoenix and Pentagon, and it's cool and whatever. And then we find out they're selling merch before the show, and you can just go and chat to them and ask for a photo for free, and you get a selfie rather than a professional photo, which I would have preferred. So immediately I'm like, well, that's 30 quid wasted for the VIP upgrade. And then the crowd start chanting during the opening match. So we're squished against the bar. We can barely see. That's not really the promotion's fault that we're short, but they should have had VIP either seated or guaranteed front standing. It's Lan Austin, a local sort of Manchester area competitor, versus someone else, I can't remember. The crowd start chanting, get your tits out. Basically, that's the crowd we're dealing with. They started chanting Jimmy Savile did nothing wrong. Jimmy Savile was a BBC One presenter that turned out to be a nonce. There was no context.
Yep, I heard about that.
Yeah, there was no context to it. We left after the first match from Promotion X because we couldn't see. the crowd were being dicks, and it was basically a massive waste of a trip, other than the fact that we went to a trampoline park and I nearly broke my ankle trying to do a 450. So,
Wow.
so I've got this photo of me and me, Phoenix, and Penta, and I'm like, yeah, that photo cost me £250. So I hope your experience of them is a lot better.
This show that I'm going to on Sunday, I've already mentioned the company name, and they do a great job. And I'm not going to be negative towards them, but they got the VIP package as well. But you don't need it because they do the merch in intermission and post show anyway. And I know Penta and Phoenix. The only two wrestlers that have never come out at intermission or post show to meet fans and stuff was Cody on his second trip when he did it, and somebody else, maybe Austin Aries, which he's a dick anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say him in Australia don't.
Yeah, and Cody only did it on his second one, and that's when he had that injury, the shoulder and stuff like that. So that was fair enough. And I'm not paying for VIP this Sunday, and I'm praying to God that Phoenix and Penta is out there with merch anyway. So, but one more match of this card: Dr. Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown defeating Blue Demon Jr. and Torres, continuing that rivalry between Wagner and Demon, ready for Triple Mania for that hair versus mask match. Wagner with that horrible hair extensions. They're just clipped in. He's definitely losing the hair, and they're going to definitely just shave off the hair clip. So that's you can tell that's exactly what's going to happen. Psycho Clown and Taurus, they're the two future of this company. Psycho Clown, well, not future. Psycho Clown is the best of this company, and Taurus is he's my favorite guy in AAA right now. He's just a beast. He's the best heel in this company, and he's just intimidating as far. Actually, Killer Cross comes close.
Oh, yes.
Which we will touch on now. So let's get into that. Was Rana de Escalando, their summer show that's done and dusted. But there is one match that we've got to talk about, and it sort of leaks into our top story of the week, which is clearly both Aerostar and Scarlet Bordeaux. Scarlet Bordeaux is a little bit more in depth, I guess, a little bit harder to break down. Aerostars is just, come on, man, stop being so stupid. But then, this match was fun for what it was worth at the start, and then, let's just call it a spade. There was a couple of things in this match that just were really fucking awkward.
Definitely. So
for me,
I think the context to give to we'll start with Scarlet Bordeaux incident because we're going to mess up somewhere in this, so we might as well get it out of the way.
Exactly.
There seems to be this increasing growth of just fans being inappropriate, right? So we've seen, the whole Bully Ray thing where ignoring the whole him taking the fan aside thing, a fan shouting sexually explicit comments at the beautiful people at ROH tapings. Only 3 days before the show, we had Fatu getting a fan going past the barricade, and attempting to shove Fatu, who then, and this is where I'll disagree with a lot of people, he pushed the fan to the ground and then stomped on him. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, that's what you get. And this is where I kind of think Scarlet Bordeaux handled the incident correctly. So basically, during this match, Bordeaux and Lady Shani are having a little bit of a fight at the outside when Shani comes out to stop Scarlet interfering. She gets pushed against the barricade, at which point a fan in the front row decides it is completely acceptable and okay to hook Scarlet Bordeaux's hands and basically try and hug her / steal her / hold her in place so Shani can hit her, I guess. Shani, being the professional she is, grabs Charlotte, pulls her Scarlet, pulls her out of the way, and Scarlet doesn't actually at the time notice what's happened. Scarlet sees it afterwards, puts out that this isn't acceptable, and says she would have hit the fan if she had noticed. Now, that's a normal reaction. However, the issue I have with the way that Fatu reacted to this wider fans interfering is if you hit the fan or you react in that way, which is a normal way to react, to be fair, they kind of give the fan the win because they get what they want. They get to feel like they're part of the show, and they get this story of, I once got beat up by a wrestler, and also you've then assaulted a fan, even though you can say you've been provoked. Right. If you ignore the fan, signal to security, get them ejected from the show, and then make a post about it on social media, you still get the awareness that this isn't okay, but you win. And really, this isn't a thing that you should have to do. Like, you just don't need to fans should just not be dicks. But if they are, we need to handle it in the right way. You know, if someone jumped on the stage at a theatre production, the people on the stage wouldn't start beating them up. It's just wrestling's got that bit of sort of circusy. I should also add that during this match, Daga's hopping from the fans in the front row to the outside, and a woman leans over and smacks him in the arse. So this is kind of a wider issue. Yeah. Mexico's known for its crowds being a bit inappropriate, but it's not an excuse. Yeah. And the main one I want to say is when Scarlett made a post about it, and obviously she's finally been released from her Impact contract after Cross did the interview, basically saying she has to have a 9-to-5 job and live at home because they're paying her so little. To the fans that were like, yeah, but look at the way you're dressed, look at your character, you deserve it. Like, just fuck off.
There was one guy that was really creepy on Twitter, and I just really wanted to it was like some guy that looked like Peter Griffin.
They all
it was like this. I'm a big guy, but this guy was like a big guy, but he had the glasses and he had like a Peter Griffin haircut. He just looked like a real life Peter Griffin. I was just like, how can you even use that as an excuse? Fuck you. But look, yeah, I mean, like you said with the Fatu incident, it's kind of remnant of the WrestleMania Hall of Fame incident when the guy went on stage with Bret Hart. And it was handled fine to start with, and then on the way out, one of the wrestlers, was it
Dawson,
Davey Boy or no Dawson,
Dash Wilder, that's the one.
No, Dash,
one of the
threw that extra little punch in there. I was like, did you need to do that? Like, yes, like the guy did the wrong thing, but did you need to do that? But look, the way that Scarlett Bordeaux handled it, I guess because she was in the moment and didn't really notice at the time. She handled it brilliantly. She obviously got really triggered, and rightfully so, post-show, and her Twitter in the last 24, 48 hours since this event has really exploded, and this incident's going around the world because, like you said, you just had that incident at Liverpool with the guys, with Lana Austin. She's a fantastic talent. She doesn't need to hear that shit. It's just getting ridiculous. Like, I thought for a while the crowds were getting so good. Progress took the lead on that, the whole don't be a dick thing. We've got a couple of promotions in Australia that are very like that, like my home promotion, PWA, Robbie's promotion, they're very much like that. They kicked out a fan during intermission for screaming the word, I'm not going to say it, FAWGOT. They kicked him out with even a heartbeat. They kicked him out without even, that's that. Yeah, bye-bye. It's like they eliminated that stuff from their crowds. It's just a shout that every crowd needs to do this. This one was wildly inappropriate. I mean, I don't know if it doesn't really matter, but I don't know if he meant it sexually or not. Like, I don't know if he went to go grab her boobs or anything, but he literally looked like he was about to kidnap a woman. That's terrifying.
It's uncomfortable watching, knowing that, like, just in the world we live in, that could have been anything, right? So, even if you look at the best case scenario, he was grabbing her to hold her in place because he really believes in wrestling and he wanted to help the face or the technical, still inappropriate and still just common sense. And unless the guy had some reason to not have known that, which wouldn't have made it acceptable, but would have made it more understandable, then that's fine.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This month we are sponsored by Grapple, a fantastic new wrestling app available on iOS and Google Play completely for free, where you can rate all the matches that you watch in WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all across the world, and we are even getting Australian wrestling involved in the Grapple app rating system as well, starting with PWA Pro Wrestling Australia. Their Green Label event from the other week is up there. The Black Label event, All Eyes on Troy, is up there. And the last 2 years of events, at least, are up on Grapple right now for you to rate so that people can get around our Aussie wrestling and see that we are just as good as anywhere else in the world. Basically, Grapple is a Rotten Tomatoes for wrestling. Now we all get a say. It is the democratization of match rating systems for pro wrestling. It's amazing. So I get a say, you get a say. You can follow me on there at Greg Unchained. You can follow Big Boy Mikey at B+_Big Boy, at Mr. Mysterious is on there, at Danders is on there, at Jay is on there. We're all on there rating the matches that we watch. So follow us, we'll follow you back. Let's build this community and get as many Australian wrestling fans onto the Grapple app as we can. You can download it right now. It has over 30,000 matches on there going back to 1985, 15 promotions around the world. There's so much to do on the Grapple app. It's a great little community, so get around it. It's Grapple, GRAPPL.co, and it's for free on App Store and Google Play. Get around it. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, Outbreak Nutrition. Outbreak Nutrition are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at Outbreak Nutrition. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout.
Just don't touch wrestlers. Like, we have it in the UK every so often. So Paul Robinson, one of the biggest heels over here, like, proper heel. Like, despite the fact that he's one of the best character wrestlers ever, and he's actually lovely when you meet him back, like, at merch and stuff, you ask him to take a photo, he'll, like, jump up on the table to, like, twist your ear, like, he goes 100%. I wanted to get my fiance a present, but I didn't have any cash left, so I was like, can you just call her a cunt? So he grabbed my phone and did like a shoot promo on my fiance. Lovely, right? But he comes to the stage, he gets him. As he does his entrance, he's like, so in progress, he's hated, so everyone's giving him the finger. He'll get in your face, scream at you, and he'll shove you because you're in the audience and you're kind of like accepting that part of the show. So he'll give you a light shove so that you fall onto the person next to you. Harmless. Certain times, some people's bravado kind of instantly reacts and they try and shove him back. And then they get confused as to why it's not okay, and it's just like, just don't touch wrestlers. There you are. That's, if you're going to a wrestling show, just act like you're at a
Yeah, put your hand out, and if they touch you back, then they touch you back. But if not, don't.
Yeah, like, don't. I always find it weird when wrestlers like walk away after a match and people lean over to like tap on them. Like, that seems to be okay, but I'm always like, you're just leaning onto someone and like tapping their arm. Exactly. It's an odd one. But obviously the other talking point of this match is, I was going to say slightly less serious. It's not, because if Aerostar keeps up what he's doing, he's going to die. Like, the man is mental.
Yep. This comes a week after that Naito Kota Ibushi match in New Japan.
Oh, God,
Ibushi landed awkwardly on his neck. It's just like, look, wrestlers are old enough to make their own choices in life. Me and Greg sort of touched on this on the podcast the other night, last night actually. And I kind of didn't have this standpoint. Greg actually talked me into this, and I'm thinking about it now. the wrestlers are old enough to do what the fuck they want. If they want to jump off, buildings and nearly kill themselves, go for it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know as a fan that like we're asking for that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are some out there that just want to see more and more high spots, and it's like you could have gone halfway up and then just dived off it instead of going right to the top. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little bit much for me. I love Aerostar. I met him myself about 5 weeks ago. Like you said, very hard to meet him because his English is not very good at all. But he's fantastic. He was in a fatal four-way with Drago, a guy called B-Boy, and Robbie Eagles for the Latin title. Drago put it up, and it was a fun match. And seeing Aerostar live is fantastic. He's a brilliant talent. But yeah, wrestlers, please stop trying to kill yourselves. It's not needed. It's not needed.
Yeah, like if you've not seen it, basically Aerostar climbs to the top of the scaffolding that surrounds the outside of the ring above the crowd, and he does a simple sort of fall splash onto the talent below. But rather than landing sort of chest and stomach to shoulder to sort of be caught, he kind of just lands on like his shin. So he face plants neck first from about 35 feet onto the mats outside. He was in a hotel laughing about it afterwards, but then was in a neck brace at the airport. But he seems to have survived. He has survived, sorry. He seems to have actually gotten away pretty injury-free. But, like, I think he's got a concussion that they've come out in Wrestling Observer and said, which would make sense. But it's this interesting question in wrestling because if you take high spots like this and you take death matches and kind of look at it, there has to become a point where you stop ramping it up. And that kind of comes down to the fans. Because in death matches, if you keep ramping up and you keep exposing people to stuff, then they stop. They kind of become desensitized to it, and then they want more, and then you have to do more,
right,
or you don't get the same reaction. I remember I think it must have been a Tuesday Night Jaw or Talk as Jericho gave this analogy when he started training. Whoever their wrestler was, it might have been Drew Parker, the sort of British deathmatch guy. He started whipping out 450s in training, and he got pulled to the side and was like, no. And he was like, what? He was like, if you do a 450 in every match,
right, exactly,
it doesn't mean anything because you become desensitized to it. But if you use it at the end of a feud or you use it sparingly, people are always like, whoa, I forgot he could do that, or whoa, he could do that. Aerostar jumping off something massive in a big match that means something, at the end of a big feud or, to steal the show at a big pay-per-view, makes sense, but he does it so frequently now that he has to keep upping the ante, and at that point it just becomes dangerous. And I like big spots like this. Like this is my shiz. Like, I love stuff like this, but I love it when it's safe because I want to see Aerostar do stuff for the next 10-15 years, not one big thing and it go horribly wrong. So we just need to calm the frick down and just try and move forward, because Lucha Libre is basically a fan to wrestler family, and we just need to make sure that we're all around to enjoy it as much as we can, because before you know it, as we are going to see shortly, it can all be taken away far too early, as was the case with Silver King, who passed away. Would have been maybe last month. But obviously we're off the air, so our condolences to Silver King's family. But yeah, we just thought we'd briefly mention it because it was such a big event. As you said, Blue Demon came out to sort of address it and say thank you to the fans. This kind of hit everyone. WCW fans, and because it happened in London, it kind of made mainstream news here.
Hollywood,
which was it was like very touching. Like the BBC News was reporting on it because obviously it happened in London against Ultimate I think.
Juventud. And it was just such an awkward spot. And it was just such a heavy thing to see. And like you said, it reached mainstream because it even reached the Hollywood side of things because of his participation in Nacho Libre with Jack Black. So even Jack Black was pretty
Yes, of
close to him and
course.
stuff. So it reached a lot of people. And like you said, we want to see our wrestlers for as long as possible. But even as much as I didn't even watch it, but the shit in Saudi Arabia with Goldberg and Undertaker, it's like when you reach a certain age, not just necessarily an age, but when you go into that casual once every 6 month wrestler and you feel like you're not fit enough, just say no, despite the pay. Like, just say no. Do more.
Yeah.
Go do more signings. Go do more. Go do TV or something. Go do more movies or something. I don't know, but say the ring. Guys like LA Park and Minoru Suzuki and those guys who are 50 plus, they're wrestling every week. So yes, they're old and they're aging, but they're wrestling all the time. They're on they're still conditioned.
Yeah, they're still conditioned.
But like Undertaker and Goldberg, they just do not look conditioned at all. Silver King didn't look conditioned at all, and it's just
that was the Silver King thing for me. Kind of brings up a sort of wider issue, and it's been discussed a lot in here in the UK at the moment, because people who were there live and from like the clips that are not of the actual passing, but of the events surrounding it, kind of showed like insufficient medical staff, and it kind of touched on this idea that I don't know what it's like in Australia, because like even the Australian independents kind of at one stage behind the British independents, so it might be quite similar in this, is that there's a lot of promotions that don't think having medics is a must, and a lot of wrestlers started calling people out on this. Before you pay for a commentary team, before you pay for whatever, you have sufficient medical staff at your shows, because the wrestler's health is your number one priority, not profit, not sales. You make sure the wrestlers are safe, and then you work everything else around that, because this has happened like on lesser scale. This made the news because Silver King was so massive internationally, but there's so many local people that get injured and like then just keep wrestling because they're not told. They get a slight concussion, they keep wrestling, and it's led to brain damage and stuff like that. So just look after your wrestlers' promotions. Like if I find out that you're not, I'm not going to watch you, and people aren't going to wrestle for you. And I think David Starr, with his We the Independent thing, has been talking a lot about this. And as much as I think that there's some issues with the We the Independent thing that David Starr's doing, mainly having Nathan Cruz, who's got a contract to be a part of it. But yeah, look after your wrestlers, and as fans, we need to look after the wrestlers and not touch them. But the last bit of news, I'll let you take the lead on, because I actually don't know much about this.
Yeah, so
it's the new promotion.
Last Tuesday, they had a press conference for the new Lucha Libre promotion. It's not just some random little one. It's going to be called Nacion Lucha Libre, which means National Lucha Libre, pretty much. And this pretty much is headed by Alberto El Patron, as you all know as Alberto Del Rio. So he's taking the lead in this. So the answer here is, if you're not getting booked anywhere, create something for yourself, and which is he has done. Very true. Unfortunately, true. Alberto Del Rio has a lot of baggage. Doesn't get booked as much as he used to be. This is once the guy that was on the top of the world in WWE, and at one point one of my favorite guys ever. He's just fallen off the cliff so hard with all the post-page stuff, and but yeah, he's back with his own promotion in Mexico. He's going to take it to, I've read, they're going to do Texas, they're going to do Vegas. So it's not just going to be Mexico. He's going to sort of do a bit of a crash kind of feel. His first show is on the 11th of July, and the names that he has got, so he's obviously put himself in the main event, as you do. So he's teaming with Hijo del Fantasma, who recently left AAA. And they're also tagging with Dr. Wagner. They're taking on MVP, Apollo, and El Messias, as you know, as Mil Muertes in Lucha Underground, who I met about 6 weeks ago and is terrifying as fuck, but also very nice. I got a picture with him, and he's such a nice guy, but he's very intimidating when you go close to him.
He's very big.
Other names on this card, you got Penta and Phoenix, you got Chavo Guerrero, Mecha Wolf, Taurus is in it, Bestia 66, Laredo Kid's on it, Darga, Flamita, Puma King, Sexy Star, which I'm sure that's going to be controversial. La Mascara that we were talking about before. Dr. Wagner's kid, Dr. Wagner Jr.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's on it. Alberto's, I think it's nephew or brother, Hijo Dos Caras. He was in the WCPW World Cup. Thunder Rosa. So he's got some decent names for the first show. Legends.
I was going to say that's a lot of the young guys in Lucha Libre right now. You know,
and they're honoring,
which I think when you listen to a lot of Patron's interviews, once you get past the page stuff and the are you a dick or aren't you a dick, he has a lot of sort of smart ideas about wrestling. He basically says that Mexico, the scene is pretty much the exact same now as it was 30 years ago, and they just occasionally sprinkle in some of these young guys.
Yeah. Which
is true to a lesser extent. There is differences, but it's very much the old guard, especially in CMML. So he seems to have got this promotion and put a lot of the young blood, the life force of the future Lucha Libre in it.
Yeah.
Guys like Flamita, Phoenix, you know, they get booked. But, you know, like Mecha Will, stuff like that, you know, bleed a lot of the young guys in here to give them a big stage. Him and Sexy Star in it is going to lead a lot of people to not watch it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I sat through a Saudi Arabia show. I have no morals. I'll check this out.
Well, this show's also got Bram on it. You know, from...
Oh, see, now they've ruined it.
Yeah.
So, when I trained for 6 months to get into professional wrestling, and the guy that trained me was best mates with Thomas Leitner, Bram.
Yeah.
And I happened to meet him. And yeah, he is just a dick. Like, I feel like I should just point this out. Like, even if you were to look aside from him like being abusive to partners and stuff like that and not being apologetic about it, he's just a dick to fans.
Wow, okay.
Like, he is the worst person in wrestling that I have ever encountered. Like, he's and he still gets booked by ICW on a weekly basis because ICW, like, there's this rumor that every Scottish person loves it. ICW is like 80% wank with 20% good. And it's just really annoying because sitting through a like 2.5 hour show that's 80% dreadful is not worth it. But I'm excited to see what this promotion has in store.
Yeah.
I might just selectively watch it, but you know, more promotions, more paydays for people, more wrestling. You know, we've seen with AEW, more wrestling's always a good thing. And
I think this is basically
it's an exciting time.
Yeah, I think this basically is a promotion just to. There's a lot of guys here that had that Lucha Underground awkwardness, and I think this is just another place where they can go work whilst this whole Lucha stuff's getting sorted. But that's pretty much it for news and stuff. Just one last little thing that we need to do. I don't know if we introduced it last time or not, but what we're going to do from now on is just do our match of the week and do our star of the week. So mine actually tie in together. I think yours do too. So do you want to hit us with yours?
Yeah. So of the surprise to no one, if they've seen my Twitter, my match of the week in Lucha Libre is Daga and Tessa Blanchard versus Laredo Kid and Taya Valkyrie from Verano de Escano. And my star of the week is Laredo Kid, both for this, a couple of independent stuff that he's done. The announcement he's going to be in Bola, or at least on a PWG show. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And obviously his placement in Fighter Fest. He is, I was going to say, he's 32. He's actually older than Daga. But he is still the future of like Lucha Libre in the US, along with Pentagon and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because his style's so slick, it appeals to so much. Check his stuff out. Check that match out as you haven't. It's legit. It's very impressive.
So I'm very similar to you. Very, very similar. So I actually have... Did you watch the TV tapings from the day before?
Yes.
I've got actually the Laredo Kid versus Daga one-on-one match.
Fantastic.
Both matches were brilliant. And my Lucha Star of the Week is, Laredo Kid as well. So... I thought you were going to go with Daga, and I was like, this is perfect. But no, Yeah, Laredo Kid, Darga. Darga was close to being my star of the week. So is Phoenix and Penta.
Very close.
But Phoenix and Penta can take number one every week. But I'm going to give it to Laredo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it'd be boring to pick them because they're probably on quieter weeks. It'll just default to Pentagon and Phoenix doing something mental.
Yeah. But yeah, Laredo Kid, I'm just in love with this guy. And in 2 weeks' time, I think it is, the 29th, or 10 days from now, 11 days from now, he's going to be in that 6-man with Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega and Laredo Kid are going to be in the same ring. So
it's crazy.
at a gaming fest. It's not even a fucking major show.
Yeah, I mean it's sadly not free in the UK.
No,
I don't know about it's $15 Australian, I think. So
I'll pay it. It's a very good card for $15. I'll pay that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be like production wise because obviously it is a gaming event.
Yeah,
so it's not going to be set up like a wrestling event, and I hope people realise that this won't be like Double or Nothing. The wrestling will still be really good, but it's not going to look like WrestleMania, like Double or Nothing did, So as long as people are aware of that, it's going to hit out of the park. You got a lot of good stuff coming up, and what's good about AEW is it gives you accessible American Lucha Libre.
Yep.
It's jumping from liking Sin Cara or Kalisto or Mysterio to watching CMML or Triple A is a big jump.
Yeah,
it's a big jump. And even if you watch New Japan and love Dragon Lee because he's the best thing in the world. Jumping from New Japan to Mexico is difficult as well. Whereas taking some of these guys, putting them on a mainstream American platform, it's fantastic. And also, I just really happen to enjoy the sort of morality of AEW. I put it on my Twitter, they gave out free packs to anyone that had sensory disparagement disorders.
Yeah.
And they could go and watch it in a private room if it got too much. Just stuff like that's top notch. And I don't know if you saw that Pharaoh's doing a meet and greet at Starcast 3, and all the proceeds from that are going to dog charities in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nice to talk about a wrestling promotion, and they've not booked someone horrible. The show's not in a horrible country. Well, I mean, it's in America, but it's not. It's not in a dictator. Oh no, America's a dictatorship as well. It's not in Saudi Arabia, and they're not doing horrible stuff. It's great. I'm just enjoying the roller coaster while it's happening.
And
even if AEW doesn't change the world, it's in terms of wrestling, it might do its bit for charity and making wrestling accessible. So,
and then they got a whole
check it out.
I mean, they got a whole show. The next one, Fight for the Fallen, from I think it's at a football field in Jacksonville. It's not the main one, but it's at a football field, and every dollar from every ticket gate taking is going towards charity, towards veterans. I mean, everything that Cody and Brandy are doing in terms of that, because Young Bucks and Kenny, they're going to be the guys that are probably going to bring in the talent. They're going to probably be the guys that are setting up the ring spots and all that stuff. But Cody and Brandy are the brains. Cody and
I'm currently trying to get not an interview, but just a communication going with Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing my dissertation for university this year. And one of my core modules is on, they call it Corporate Social Responsibility, CSR. Yeah. And basically it's about how companies can use ethics as a marketing thing. Yeah. So you do good, and because you're doing good, people want to support you.
Yeah.
And I'm doing mine's on, I was originally going to be doing mine's on trains and nothing to do with CSR. But then I just had this eureka moment, and I'm trying to do my dissertation on how all elite wrestling are using corporate social responsibility and ethics to take over the wrestling world. And I was like, can I just get a couple emails back and forth with Brandy Rhodes to get her opinion on this that I can then cite? And they've been very responsive so far. Well, they're we could see about hooking up with a phone call interview. And I was like, if I get a phone interview with Brandy Rhodes, this is game changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they're for the fans, and I thought I was going to hate it. If you look at my Twitter, I was shitting on AEW before it started because a lot of the fan base pissed me off.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I just watched that first show and it just captured me.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm not wrong about a lot, but I have been very wrong so far.
Yeah.
Like, very wrong about AEW.
And my favorite thing about All Elite Wrestling, Luchasaurus. He is my favorite fucking guy.
Oh,
He is,
and he's not a gimmick. Like, it's not comedy. It's great.
Yeah, it's like
He killed Joey Janela.
Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. In LA, they got a tag team called The Boy and His Dinosaur. That's the name of their tag team in the local scene.
Oh, that's super.
The Boy and His. I'm like, and he just carries him on his shoulders to the ring. Like, that is just brilliant. But yeah, like how good is Luchasaurus? But nah, look, yeah, I'm excited for All Elite. I'm excited for more Lucha. I think the next big show for AAA is in a couple of weeks on the 7th. I think it is. That's their next big one. I think it's AAA versus another brand. I can't think of who it was.
Yeah.
Other than that, the next big thing will be Triple Mania, which is about 5 weeks away. But we'll,
start of August.
Yeah, but we'll hopefully get back in the next week or in about a fortnight. I'm going to try and do a little 15-minute, half an hour, little one every week. If you can't make it, everyone, that's fine. Just to quickly do some of the news, I guess, just so we don't get stuck on too much. But that's pretty much it for this week. Is there anything else you have?
No, I think, like you said, we'll try and fire out every week if we're both available. If not, you'll hop on a little solo cast and every fortnight for sure.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. And where can people find you, Mr. Liam A. Stewart?
You can find me on Twitter at Liam A. Stewart. Nice and easy. If you want to check out my sort of main, I say main, it's meant to be weekly. We've been on a little break from that as well. The Developmental Podcast, talk about NXT US, NXT UK in progress. That's at Develop Podcast on Twitter.
Beauty. And you can find me at B+_Big Boy on Twitter and Instagram, even though I'm shit at Instagram. And we collectively... Oh, so bad. My wife has got the Instagram game down pat, but I can't do it. Twitter's my jam. And we collectively are the B Plus Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, and B Plus Wrestling on Twitter. Wrestling Fit. Like, share, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.